The maze from my last experiment was far too easy for the mice to learn. So I set out to build a bigger mouse maze, one that I could reconfigure. This new mouse maze is based on a 8x8 grid, and I can move the walls any way I want to. I made this maze configurable because I'm not sure what will work best with the mice. My goal is to get the mouse really deep into the maze and that it won't find its way out again. And here comes the first mouse, and it's mostly just loitering on the maze, chewing on all the peanut butter that's in there. So let's play that back a little bit faster. Ooh, that looks like some panicking there. It doesn't know its way out. Oh, out already. I guess that mouse was undaunted by that little bit of panic, because it's right back exploring and eating peanut butter. I'm quite surprised that mouse seems to have learned that maze amazingly fast. I think much faster than a person would have learned it. And here comes another visitor. This one is a shrew. And this one seems to be quite systematic even the first time exploring the maze. It doesn't look like it ever got lost in there. And the mouse is back, but we've kind of run out of peanut butter in the maze. Time to add bait to the maze again, and this time I'm also adding some sunflower seeds so that the mice have reason to go back and forth as they stash it somewhere else. And by now the shrew's gotten into a routine of hauling away sunflower seeds. And here comes another mouse. This one's a little bit bigger than the last one. And once the mouse has found the pile of sunflower seeds, it mostly keeps going back and forth, stashing sunflower seeds somewhere else. Now that the vermin has gotten all used to this layout, it's time to switch it up a bit. I think the change in maze layout has that mouse a little bit confused at first. But there's work to be done eating all that fresh peanut butter throughout the maze. Oh, I think that's looking panicky there. I think it got just a little bit lost. But just after a few trips back and forth, I think that mouse has fully learned the new layout and it's not making any more mistakes. And here comes the shrew again, and that layout of course is new to it as well. I don't know why, but that shrew decided that all those sunflower seeds needed to be somewhere else. With the mouse and shrew having learned the best path through the maze, I opened up a shortcut just to see how they'd react to that. And the shrew takes the long way around. Force of habit, I guess. and a long way back out, although it did seem to hesitate at the shortcut. And it looks like it found the shortcut, although it seems to be a little bit confused by it. And here comes the little black mouse, which finds the shortcut right away, but then also seems to be a little confused. And last comes the big brown mouse, which is also going the long way. No, never mind, it found the shortcut right away. And here comes the shrew again, which doesn't seem to remember the shortcut. It doesn't seem to be as smart as the mice. Time to rebait the maze. So I'm adding a few blocks that the mouse has to push out of the way just to see how it'll react to that. And here comes the shrew. And I guess it has to eat all the peanut butter that's available first. Maybe I shouldn't have put quite as much bait in that maze because it just keeps eating that without actually exploring any further. Ah, there we go, finally. And here comes the little mouse, which is exploring what is pushed apart, but nothing beyond that. And then the bigger mouse, it doesn't seem to want to push anything either. Now the little mouse again, and it doesn't seem to be keen on pushing aside any walls. I kind of regret how much bait I put in the maze, because it just stalls them everywhere. Too much snack time. Hey, get out of here! This maze is occupied. I guess inherently they're just very careful, which might explain how they managed to get the bait out of a trap so many times without setting it off. But the shrew is much less careful. And the mouse is back, but again, not moving anything. But what I realized is the mice and the shrew both had no difficulty getting past blocks that partially obstructed the passageways. So realistically, the passageways don't need to be nearly as wide as I've got them here. It's also quite clear that the shrew is quite the bull in a china shop compared to the mouse. With the amazing agility of my test subjects, I decided to make a maze with much finer detail, so that hopefully they'd finally actually get lost in there. I ran a wire through the maze to help me track which way to get through it. And the first one in is once again the shrew, who is a little bit tight in there but doesn't seem to have difficulty getting around it too much and is losing no time exploring that maze. Ta-da! Nom 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 nom. This is playing back at about 12 times actual speed. But still, that shrew is able to get through there amazingly fast. And that shrew just kept going back and forth. He just totally owned that maze. Might be politically correct to call him a he, but I'll just assume he's a he. Okay, now it's the mouse's turn. What? That's it? Come on, try a little harder. And here comes the shrew again, who by now is just an old hand at this maze. Come on, little mouse. You can do it. So I'm changing the maze so that the proper path is actually where the mouse kept checking, not where the shrew always goes, and I'm also going to make it a little bit tighter so that hopefully the shrew will get stuck. Whoa, I didn't expect it to make it through that gap. I guess I didn't make that maze nearly tight enough. This was the narrowest gap I had the shrew go through last time. I still have this gap, but I closed it off and I made a lot of other narrow gaps all through the maze just to make it more fun. And I've also made the path a bit longer, like it has to snake around here now. So let's see what happens next. Well, it seems those tight spots are not enough to deter that shrew, because it makes it through all of them. It sure is determined. Oh, it's stuck on the final gap, so near and yet so far. Now, to all the PETA and SJW folks out there, I should point out that the actions of this shrew are entirely voluntary. I'm not making it do anything. And once again it turned around. Wow, it's finally made it through. Now, most of these clips have been playing much faster in real life, but this clip is showing actual speed. It takes about 30 seconds to go through the maze, and considering all the contortions, that's actually amazingly fast. And here's the little mouse again. Come on! Ugh. But the shrew just keeps plugging away at it, back and forth and back and forth. Come on, Mouse, you can do it!